Right, welcome back. Last time we've gone ahead and tried stuffing stability to as high as it goes in order to speed up the spread of commercialization, which is currently estimated to arrive in 1451. Hoping it's really mid 1450 or something, because I don't want to deal with the that. I don't want to deal with commercialization for any longer than I need to. With the lack thereof, to be precise. I also got the first 3 ideas in civic religion, specifically in order to get that yearly fucking Republican tradition buff. I might end up getting more, but the real issue is that I need, well, I don't really need, but it would be a seriously good idea to maintain these buffs for remaining ahead of time in admin tax. Yeah, I'm avoiding that for as long as I can. Also, my plan is to pick up one of these Diplo idea groups for my next idea group. Probably culture. Due to, well, more Republican tradition buffs. But also stuff like better stability, diversions, prestige. All of that stuff, most of which is actually pretty useful. Though some less of, like the institution embracement cost reduction isn't, well, it's good. Female advisor chances. Flavor, pretty much. Maximum tolerance isn't that important. Another admin-free policy. That actually could come in useful, but that depends on really multiple things. Yeah. I'm currently saving up money in the interest of buying the first rank of amenities for my province. I'm going to get my urban population down over somewhere close to 10,000. I have also been doing some investments into rural property. Specifically, I just invested into fisheries. Can't wait to see what happens there. Probably will max out and I'll end up getting some of that. At the very least, we'll encourage more peasants to move in. Or at the very least, put some of them to work. And the way good things are about. Yeah, diplomatic power investment into property maintenance is increasing. Let's see how much property there is now. Yep, I was right. Maxed out the fisheries. Practically all the new ones went to me. Well, no. About half the new ones. Good. Provincial corruption was going down, though not fast enough to say, make it so that if I were to expand state reach, it would remain at a relatively consistent level. Did autonomy increase? It might be that the effects of autonomy on provincial corruption have increased, or perhaps they've reduced and I just misremembering. That's also entirely possible. The gentry should have their thing be available in a day. Yes, the influential aristocrats. Actually, 2 days. Full grain provision can be refreshed in a day. Everything else is not this way. Don't know why the slot is open in here. Okay. Right, printing press. Just enough. 22 left. Production efficiency plus urban production efficiency plus 2%. well as matchlock arquebuses. Siege ability plus 5%, infantry fire plus 0.1, cavalry fire plus 0.1 enables a lot of units. Let's go with pikemen. It doesn't matter which cavalry I pick. Yeah. Right. Let's let a couple of days pass. Come on. Quit lagging. So I can refresh the aristocratic promotion. Don't 10 this time. Annoying. As well as the grain. It's extremely important for the maintenance of stability of the grain door. State corruption is stable, but that's only because the current ruler is below average in that regard. Executive power of just 10. Yeah. Scholarly erosion help someone. Yeah. 10 points. Alright, has anything expired? Probably not. Fissures, commerce, that's temporary. We did that to get the burghers to be happier than usual. So they're a bit behind compared to everyone else, at least temporarily. Of course now it's the gentry, but that's mainly for unrelated issues, specifically because I've been attacking their privileges in lieu of bureaucratic reforms. But yeah, so nothing expires this year. However, something else is true. I finally should have the money to actually build the project. Okay. Yeah, I've got 0.76 ducats. Actually, it should be lower, but I guess the event option truncated the number. Anyway, moving on. Alright. Yeah, that should be good for today. As you might have noticed with the taxation screen, my the amount of diplo points I'm investing into property has been increasing, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a problem. It just takes time and all. I am lacking somewhat in urban labor and burger labor. Though the urban labor is mainly from the fact that I finally put together the money to do this. And they're focusing on getting this done first, from the looks of it. Though that will take time. Of course, there are more residents moving in to fulfill that labor, but whether or not they will stick around, that will probably require an investment in order to make sure that they stay. Peasants are starting to move away too. Farmlands keep dropping in quantity. I'm not sure why they're decaying, but they are. Guess that means another investment in there. But things are doing well enough now. Specifically with taxes. I have put on some temporary anti-corruption measures. Specifically temporary. in order to speed up monetary collection, and really, it works. It actually works surprisingly well. I'm now earning a ducat a month, easily. Though I should check to see if anything okay, I know one thing is expiring. It's influential aristocrats. The question is, do I want to continue doing? Okay, I probably should if I want to get their loyalty to be above a decent level. To be at a decent level. So, right, and promote the aristocrat faction, which gets them 10 more loyalty. After that, I think I might actually start working on. Then again, I still want to maintain the high stability in order to continue to gain commercialization as quickly as I can manage. So I think I will be focusing on attacking noble privileges, specifically reducing the amount of autonomy that the nobles get from their power. Well, the autonomy that nobles create from their power, which will reduce their own power because feedback loops, and also reduce the power of the other factions too, which is also helpful. I would rather the burghers maintain a high level of power, but the clergy, I don't really care about. I would honestly prefer that they have less power. A faction with more than 10% power is a faction that I have trouble with. Unless it's the burghers, because usually they tend to be fine with whatever I do. Especially since certain things require help from them. 30 metropolitan influence is not something that's going to be easy to obtain, for example. Oh well. I also grabbed the next idea in civic religion, specifically religious state, which should help with autonomy. Bringing it down even faster and even lower. Again, lower autonomy means two things. Less power for the factions inside. Actually, three things. Less power for the elites inside the province, which, since it's the only province, is my entire country. Yay. It also reduces the amount of provincial corruption generated by all sources by a percentage. And it also means that taxation is cheaper in power. And the harder you tax, the greater the effect local autonomy has. Oh well. I will say that I'm getting a good amount of money now, thanks to the property and the rents on the peasantry. The land taxes are also helping with that. And the various taxes on the burghers, so mainly land taxes and obligations. Now it is annoying to say that the farmland isn't being consistently exploited properly. I also need to think about it starting to open up the salt mines again. Though whether or not that's a good idea depends on, well, current price of salt. It's slowly increasing, but it's still cheaper to get a unit of salt than it is to get a unit of food. Which I'm trying to solve by expanding food production, but, well, the crop industry just isn't doing well enough for that. At least not from the looks of it. Negative 999% profitability for the commerce industry. That's a funny number. That is certainly a funny number. I was thinking about doing an academic investment, but I don't think it's actually going to be effective. Or at least not conducive to my needs. Yeah, I might actually start handling the military again. Population-wise, I should be able to afford it. The peasant labor isn't going to be as needed anymore. There's plenty of free peasantry to conscript, for example. And based upon the numbers that I see, say there's about 30,000 peasantry and about 8.4 labor supply. fudge the numbers a bit, so well, then there's about 1.5 available. Fudge the numbers a bit, and that should be about 6k that I can conscript into the military. Of course, that's not enough to compete with Verden, who has that much already. But, well, well-paying military would be another means for more people to come. So, more for me to conscript. Of course, that would also cause issues with wage costs and whatnot, but I'm already doing some fun stuff. Anyway. Yep, I've got on long enough. Elections occurred. We've got pretty map personality trait. Republican tradition is going up very quickly thanks to faction support, which is excellent because that helps with stability. And autonomy as well. That actually might be part of the reason for why autonomy is going down so consistently. Aristocrats' support are just now actually extremely consistent. It doesn't break 53. So that indicates that their actual true influence level might be as low as 35. Which is good, because that means I can specifically focus on getting other factions into power. But I don't want to do things too quickly. State corruption is sadly not going to go down anytime soon. Power void and all that from his executive. This will take a few years. Certainly not going to be done next session. Session after that, maybe? Yeah, it's going to take 3 sessions for commercialization to arrive anyway. It's likely to arrive sometime during the year 1450. And I'm fine with that. I'm probably going to immediately take the Hofness, not the Hofness, but the tech after that, the mill tech after that, in order to maintain innovativeness gain while waiting to get rid of commercialization, to get rid of the commercialization penalty before grabbing admin tech. It's 120 points. Thankfully, I don't think commercialization penalty is actually going to increase any further. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it increased by 2.5% for tech. But this is already 5 techs ahead, and the penalty is only 5% higher, so... I'm only grabbing Diplotech in order to prevent waste of Diplo points. Because my plan is for Admin Tech 26, I'll get a new idea group, grab probably culture ideas, might do something else, and then burn all the points at once. And enjoy the cheap Diplotech for a while. Up until the next thing comes along, which is casual literacy. Which increases everything involving knowledge, by the way, once it's embraced. But yeah, it requires knowledge production of at least 2. That's not the case right now, and it also needs a higher learning industry. Also not the case. You need at least 10k urban population to open up a higher learning industry. Which is why I'm going to wait on investing into academic until then. I'd much rather have them, because they're far more efficient per land space, per unit of property than clerical education in producing knowledge. Of which I'm going to basically need to multiply by 10 in order to have any reasonable quantity of knowledge. But yeah. And then more would be better. That's the only way to get a lot of spread very, very quickly. But yeah. That should be good for now. See you again next time. Until then.